We're back at it again. First thing I'm doing is moving the crafting table. This is because I'm doing the enchantment room underneath my house, because I have no room up here. Hence the moving of the crafting table. But first I'm going to immediately sleep. Now we're gonna truly get to work. It was now time to put the enchanting table down, and the anvil as well. Now it's time to start making books. Just so you know, this process could take multiple episodes. I can't quite remember. While searching, I found a wandering trader that was chilling in the caves. Not fully sure where they went though. While they were slowly disappearing, some skeletons show up, which I was lucky enough to take out. Oh, but the traders survived. Then I made my way back home to quickly sleep before I die. Then I started making books with some of the materials I already got, which gave me 2 bookshelves. We then created another chest for more storage. Then me and my royal cow went on murdering more cows. This was before I found a spruce forest. I wasn't sure which type of spruce this was. Nevertheless, it had 3 chances of giving me either a pale, a black, and chestnut walls. After a very long time, I finally found the black wolf. Sadly though, I didn't have any bones, so I had to carry it all the way back. Before I did though, I found a ruined portal. It had pretty mediocre stuff, but now it was time for us to go home. I would immediately run into the problem of losing the wolf so many times. So it led up to me having to drag the wolf and the horse all the way back, which took multiple days. Eventually I reached home, and the first thing I immediately do is go get some bones to tame the dog, and get them inside. I then went on to breed the black dog so I can get multiple since I only got 1. Went on to craft more books, as well as some bookshelves. And then decided to take my horse and go back to the spruce biome I found earlier, and also kill more cows. I'm going back because I believe the chestnut biome is here too. And I was correct, didn't take long, but I tamed 2 of them, went to sleep, then decided to journey out further, only to find some ice peaks and decided not to go any further and bring the others back home. Then before I knew it, I reached home. Since I love black dogs, I gave the one I found a blue collar. He would go on to be called Jonathan later on in this series, and also gave him his own blue armor. And since it took so long, I went to sleep again and logged off. And immediately came back. It was time for me to do some expansion. I wanted to do this to have a free access cow farm, since I needed a lot of leather. Then I went out to look for some cows nearby, to bring them all the way home to their new home. Forever. I knew that it was time for me to take a trip to the Nether, so I started making a room for it. Afterwards, it was time for me to start constructing the portal. After going back up to collect a few things, I then lit the portal, then went through. The portal immediately took me to a basalt deltas, the worst biome in my opinion. I went on to safety proof my portal, since I did not have too much faith in myself. I proceeded to go and check out the landscape before going back through the portal. After getting enough confidence, I finally went back through the portal to explore the Nether. I then took the next few days traveling through the Nether, taking as much precautions as I can, trying so hard not to die. Ending up finding a warped forest, which I didn't go too far into, killed a magma cube, and killed all of his little children. Then I found one of the most annoying biomes in this place, the Crimson Forest, and you will see why later on. Then I went on ahead to kill an Enderman, which ended up not being worth it in the end. Then I just got too scared again and ran all the way back to the portal. And that's my entire journey of the Nether. Day 30 now arrives, and I went on ahead to craft more books from the cows I murdered. I wanted to explore more of the world, so I decided to take my horse and go into a random direction. I won't show this part, as this ended up being useless in the end, and this direction was never brought up ever again. Then I reached back home, and went to sleep on day 31. Day 32 happens, and I went to craft more books from the cows I murdered during my little journey. Then I decided to craft myself a diamond chestplate to start creating my diamond armor, and also enchant it with Unbreaking 2. But since I was running out of diamonds, it was time for me to go back to the caves. So I decided to breed 2 dogs so I can have like a duplicate of them, so I don't lose all of them at once. Then I took one and went back down to the caves. It is now day 33. I eventually left the cave since I ran out of torches. I congratulated my dog by turning his color blue. I sorted myself out and decided on the night of day 33 and brought out Jonathan, dog, and the dog I just went to the caves with to go out and fight some mobs. This wouldn't end well, so I eventually took him back safely and went to sleep. As we've been doing a lot, I've been making so much more books, plus bookshelves. I then went out to do a pretty easy advancement. Then I decided to make a cactus farm right outside my house. I then used it to make my favorite color cyan dye. Yeah, no, I did absolutely nothing today. Day 35 had me make more books, making me a new shield since my old one is wearing out. I also used some of the diamonds I have to make myself some diamond leggings. I then decided after a long YouTube tutorial to make an armor stand to place my worn iron armor. I felt like they deserved their place after being worn for 35 days. I then did an F5 view of myself, finally placing the bookshelf I've been meaning to place, and that's all I did because of the tutorial that took so long. I forgot to pause the game. I then went to the small type ravine near me. This was because I needed some more coal. After collecting some coal, I made my way back out of the caves and returned back home. After 27 days, I finally decided using the cyan dye to make myself a cyan bed. I then had to craft myself a new pickaxe since the last one broke. I still don't use the diamond one. I still don't get it. I've gone on ahead to wear full iron one last time, as I've decided I'm gonna go through the Nether again. With the only exception of having golden boots. Instead of deciding to wait for night to fall, I decided to go through the portal myself. I went out again to safety-proof the area as I didn't want to die. Then I used the strategy of digging straight through the Nether, hoping to find a Nether fortress. Though I didn't get much lucky. Though I did find a zombie piglin on a chicken. So that's alright. Then I knew what I had to do. I knew I had to go through the Crimson Forest and hopefully don't die. But then comes in a hoglin. And then his baby comes. But I managed to kill them using the lava bucket I grabbed. Then I had to safely try to grab the bucket and try to grab lava before it like burns me entirely. But after murdering some pigs, I decided to continue on through the Crimson Forest. I then decided to climb on the tree so then the hoglins won't give me much trouble. I was so lucky I added this cobblestone, and you would see why in a second. But before I knew it, another hoglin came, and I accidentally set myself on fire and I lost the lava bucket. And then I basically ran for my entire life, but I got stuck in a corner, I didn't know what to do, and before I know it, I died to a hoglin, and I spawned back. So I immediately ran for my life all the way back through the Nether, looking for as much science as I can, which led me to the free-placed cobblestone that I placed not too long ago. And before I knew it, I found my stuff. So I managed to recover everything but a few items. I also had to kill a baby for my shield. He kind of stole it and he wouldn't give it back. And immediately ran all the way back as fast as I can before I died. Again. Before I truly leave, I decided to stay back to collect a few things. Like for example the ender pearl from this enderman that actually dropped his pearls. Then I tried to find the way I went, which I couldn't. That was before I accidentally ran into this bastion. It was quite close to my portal as well. Though I decided not to raid it as I wanted to live to fight another day. And that's what I did. At this point in the video, you must have realized what happened to the day counter. That's because I never opened F3 during my Nether trip. So I never truly remember what day it was. And I have tried to check through previous footage, but then it just never showed up. I don't use F3 for like a long time. And until I do, the day counter is gone. Why sorry about that? It doesn't matter now. I made my way up to the surface, sorted myself out. And because I was panicking, I basically just couldn't continue anymore and logged off.